We're all looking for examples on how to live our life. We're looking for people to tell us, yeah, do this, don't do that. This is a good idea, this is a bad idea. So today I want to give you 7 proverbs that I believe every young man should live by. Hey, welcome to Growing Up Kingdom. My name's Daniel, and I'm so excited that you're here. If you've been looking for a place where you feel like you can be encouraged, where you feel like you can grow in your confidence, this is an absolutely great place to do that. So make sure that you stick around. I want to say thank you real quick to all the listeners on Spotify and on YouTube. You guys are amazing, listening, tuning in week after week. Thank you so much. For any of you guys who are listening, and you want more life-giving content in your life, something that's going to encourage you, something that's going to make you feel better when you're done listening rather than worse, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe, follow, do whatever you can on the platform you're listening, because this content is meant to help you grow and be a better person. Today, like I said, we're talking about 7 proverbs that I believe every young man should live by. I've got an itch on my nose. We're going to scratch that real quick. That's a beautiful thing. Also, real quick, these episodes, they're as authentic as they possibly could be. We're not cutting out the nose scratching. We're not, yeah. You can expect, when I sit down here, I do my best to shoot this in one take. We just go for it. Proverbs 4:7 says, the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, and whatever you get insight. Get wisdom, and whatever you get insight. Wisdom is the real advantage. People look to all sorts of different things for an advantage. Maybe they look for income as an advantage, family members for an advantage, friend groups as an advantage. We look for all sorts of different things for an advantage. But I'm convinced that wisdom is the real advantage. There's no better advantage than wisdom. Why? Because clout fades. Your friends are often going to go in totally different directions than you are. Family members will change and move, and different things will happen. You can chase the money, you can chase the attention, you can work on getting the best Instagram feed of all of your friends. But if your decision making stinks, if your if the choices that you make in your own life aren't executed properly, then all that stuff is going to leave. None of that is actually going to stay. Wisdom doesn't mean having all the answers. It doesn't mean, oh yeah, I know everything. I'm going to solve every single problem because I'm wise and I can do that. No, it means knowing how to think. It means knowing who to listen to and when to pause before you go and do something. That's what wisdom is. It doesn't mean having all the answers, but it means knowing how to think, who to listen to, and how to pause before you act. That's what wisdom is. The people who go the furthest in life, they aren't always the loudest. They're not always the fastest. Instead, it's usually the people who are a little bit more quiet, the people who are willing to stick to the background and just work on developing wisdom. We'll see a lot of people who will get really quick success and they'll just go and, man, we'll all see them maybe for a couple of years. And then what happens to them? They usually burn out, they get exhausted, they make some mistakes, maybe something comes out that we didn't know about them, and everything crumbles because maybe they had a lot of, they had a lot of friends. Maybe they had a lot of money. Maybe they had a lot of people behind them at the moment. But if they don't have wisdom, it all crumbles at some point. And I don't want that to be you. I don't want that to be me. The most important thing to get is to get wisdom, to get insight, because then we know how to make decisions. We can decide how to live our life intentionally and not just be really fast and go for everything right away and not have an actual plan and not know how to get through life. Proverbs 4:23 says, keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. I want you to think about this. Protect your heart like it's a phone password. What do I mean by that? I don't give my phone password to a random stranger. Random strangers don't give me their phone password. I know a couple of people's phone passwords, and they only give it to me because they trust me. A couple of people have my phone password, and they've got it because I trust them. In the same way, we're not just going to give our heart out to anyone or anything just because they're asking for it, just because they're looking for it. That's not a That's not a great way to live. Your phone gives you access to almost anything. Your payment methods, I don't have to convince you, right? But our heart's the same way. Our heart, I'm not talking about like our actual physical heart, but our mind, if we give other people access to that just so easily, that can be dangerous too. How do we give people access to our heart? Through the social media we spend scrolling for hours, the mindless content we decide to consume, the friends we hang around, the music we listen to, all this stuff, it gets in our heart. And when we scroll, when we listen to, when we laugh at the stuff, all of those things, they sink into our thinking. If you're constantly feeding your brain junk, you'll start to feel anxious, numb, confused about what really matters. Think about it. Just like if you feed your actual body junk food 24/7, I mean, some of you guys do, and you'll know it doesn't feel good after a while. In the same way, if you start feeding your mind junk over and over and over again, it doesn't feel good. It's not good for you in general. You wonder why you're anxious. You wonder why sometimes you just feel numb. Sometimes you wonder why you feel confused, like you don't have a sense of direction. Is it because you've been giving your heart out to too many different things and haven't been guarding it? I want to challenge you to guard your heart intentionally. Don't just give it out to anyone or anything. Be intentional with it. Look at what you're scrolling. Intentionally choose the music you're listening to. Be careful with your inner circle and protect your peace in that way. Don't just give your heart out to anyone. Number 3, Proverbs 6, verse 25 and 27. It says, do not desire her beauty in your heart. Do not let her capture you with her eyelashes. Blink, 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 blink. Can a man carry fire next to his chest and his clothes not be burned? We gotta take lust seriously. Now, a lot of people talk about lust. You'll see a lot of different YouTubers, podcasters talk about lust. I don't want to spend a big amount of time on it, but I do think it's important to talk about. Lust isn't just a struggle. It's a setup. It's not just, oh yeah, every single day I'm dealing with this. It's leading you towards something else in the future. And it's usually a very undesired end. Lust very often in any form usually offers some sort of comfort, connection, some sort of escape, but it leaves you feeling emptier every single time. Anytime you decide to feed that, it always comes back leaving you feeling emptier, leaving you feel more alone, leaving you feeling less satisfied, and that's what it does. Digital temptations, flirting just for attention, all of it feels harmless just for the moment, but over time, it chips away at your focus, your confidence, and your purpose. God's not trying to kill your fun. He's not trying to tell you, oh yeah, you can't enjoy yourself, you can't have a good time, you can't make friends. He's trying to protect your future. So in this case, when he's talking about being careful with lust, being careful with the temptations you entertain, it's not because God just wants to kill all your fun, but it's because he's got a plan for you and he knows what's best for you in the long run. Discipline builds character later. Sometimes it feels good just to give into certain things just for a little bit, but setting boundaries doesn't mean you're weak. It just means that you value your purpose. So when it comes to things like lust, giving into different temptations, it's not saying, oh yeah, I gotta set boundaries, I gotta do different things because I'm weak, but it's because you value your purpose. What was the end of that verse? Verse 27 says, can a man carry fire next to his chest and his clothes not be burned? No. If I'm carrying fire next to my chest, you better bet it's gonna burn me. In the same way, if you're playing with these different things, don't be surprised if it comes back to bite you at some point. Lust very often is leading you down a road. Might look good for the moment, but it's always leading you towards some undesired end. Proverbs 16, verses 18 through 19. It says, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. It is better to be of a lowly spirit with the poor than to divide the spoil with the proud. So check your pride. Pride convinces you that you've got it all figured out, that you've got it, that you don't need anyone else. It tells you to reject correction, to act like you don't need help, and to start building things on your own. It tells you to start faking confidence, acting like you've got it all figured out, when it's not always the case. Here's the truth though. Growth starts with humility. You can't grow if you don't have some sense of humility to be able to ask someone, hey, show me this. I don't know this yet, but I will once you help me in this area. That's how you actually grow. You don't grow by knowing everything. If you know everything, you don't need to grow. You'll never become who you were meant to be if you're too proud to be corrected, mentored, or challenged. You'll never get where you're meant to be if you're too proud to be corrected, mentored, or challenged. You need some way to grow. I used to reject correction a lot. I would be confident, oh yeah, I can figure it out. Maybe this time wasn't too great, but I don't need you to show me how to do it. I'll figure it out myself. That used to be me. But I've realized the only way I grow is if I take a step back and acknowledge I don't know everything. I need to learn. Would you show me this? Would you show me that? I admit I messed up in that area. That wasn't good. But show me how to do it properly so I can do it better next time. Sometimes the most mature thing you can say is I don't know or I need help. It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but sometimes think about it. If you look at some people, there are some people who refuse to say I don't know. Some people who refuse to say I need help. And we look at those people as some of the most immature people in the world. Man, look at you. You're so sure you're doing it right, but we all know you're doing it wrong and you won't admit it. But sometimes that's us. We look at one person doing it and we don't realize we're doing it ourselves. Be careful to admit when you don't know something, when you need help. Don't be too proud to say, I don't know, I need help. There are lots of people who'd be more than willing to help you out. And sometimes I think it comes because we've maybe shown a moment of weakness before and people have jumped on it and people have taken advantage of us. We've showed up weak one time when we needed someone to strengthen us. Instead of people strengthening us, they pushed us down lower so they could get ahead. And because of that, we now carry this mask like, man, I'm good. I've got it, because we're so afraid to have that happen again. But let me tell you, people might have treated you one way in the past, but the only way you'll grow is if you're vulnerable and you're open to say, I don't know everything. I need someone to show me. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Now, we're not talking about an apple. We're not talking about a pear, but I want you to watch your mouth because it's powerful. The fruit we're talking about is what we see in our life, what comes out of our life. Words don't just disappear. Whether you want to acknowledge or not, they shape atmospheres. You ever walk into a room and you're not even part of a discussion, but people, maybe an argument just finished in the room. You can feel it in the room. You can feel the tension in the room. Sarcasm, gossip, reckless text, petty drama. These ruin trust, these ruin relationships, and they do it fast. Your words will catch up with you. Now, we don't have to go into, how much power do words really carry? How careful do I have to be about what I say? Just keep in mind, words really do have power. You can feel it, and you know it. The words you speak will alter your friendships. They'll alter the relationships you have. They'll even affect yourself. Be careful with the way you're talking to yourself. Be careful with the way you're talking to other people. Are you speaking life or are you speaking death? You have a choice. I would recommend you speak life. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have an honest conversation and reprimand someone if they've done something wrong, if you need to correct them and tell them to maybe change something you don't like the way they treated you. I'm not saying don't keep away from a confrontational experience or an interaction. I'm just saying be careful with how you do it and be mindful of your words. Number 6, choose the right people. Proverbs 13:20 says, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. You can't become who God's calling you to be while staying with the closest people who are always pulling you down, who are always, being foolish in different areas and keeping you away from God's best in your life. You can't step into your calling while you're interacting with people who don't take growth seriously. If those are the people you're spending most of your time around, obviously your closest friends are going to affect your attitude, your habits, your ambition, and your walk with God. So be careful with the people you hang around. Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. Doesn't mean cutting people off for no reason. Oh yeah, you're just not good for me, I'm cutting you off. No, be intentional with the relationships you keep. By all means, do it in love, but be mindful of where you spend your time, the people you hang around. Make sure you're hanging out with people who are going to help you grow. Hey, you're here on the podcast. Now, obviously, we're not sitting right in front of each other physically, but you're listening to me right now. We're having a conversation and we're growing together. Find yourself some people in real life who will do the same. People you can talk to, people who will help you grow, people who will help you be a better person at the end of the day than you were before. Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 6. Verse 5 and 6. Yeah, say, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. You've probably heard this verse before. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths. I'm used to a little different translation. I'm trying to get used to the ESV. Life doesn't always give you a clear path. It goes left and it goes right and it goes up and it goes down. There's all these different things happening. Plans fall apart. People let you down. Things happen. People move. Doors close. And your own understanding won't always be enough. You'll be like, man, I had a plan. I was so sure this is how this was going to work. I was so sure this is how this was going to happen. But it doesn't always happen. But God isn't just winging it saying, oh yeah, whatever happens, happens. We'll just see how everything comes together. No, God sees what's ahead. He knows what's up ahead. He knows what you don't know. When you surrender your plans, your feelings, your desires, and your doubts to him, he'll take you where you're actually meant to go. Now, yes, sometimes there is trouble in this life. Sometimes bad things happen. But God still wants to work everything out in your life for good. Doesn't mean the moment in itself is good. Doesn't mean what happened, what they did to you was good. But you can rest assured that God wants the best for you, that he has a purpose for you and a plan for you. So don't just try to survive this season. Try to grow in the season. These 7 Proverbs, hopefully they've given you some resources to grow. They've given you some ideas on how you can grow, how you can be a better person because of what you've read, because of what you heard. If any of this stood out to you, make sure that you go ahead and leave a comment. Make sure you share this with a friend if you think it's going to help them. Make sure you tune in next week. We got something else great happening next week. Excited for you to hear it. But that being said, I love you. I'll see you in the next episode. I'll see you there. Bye.